We have this amazing historic object that's going to be right at the heart of the museum experience. It was a synagogue for the first 30 years of its life, but then it became a series of churches. It was a barber shop and a bicycle store and a soap store and a coffee shop. And this tiny historic synagogue, which was built in 1876 and dedicated with Ulysses Grant in attendance, has actually been moved now 3 times in its life. And once again, this little building was in the way of progress in Washington, and so back in January of this year we picked up the building again and rolled it down the street. And the idea of getting people to kind of explore this little building and hear it whisper its stories, to me the idea of like bringing to life what it would have felt like in old Washington, and to do it in a way that kind of helps us think about the city today, I think that is most exciting to me. So the Capitol Jewish Museum will be a brand new Jewish museum for the nation's capital, and we really want to tell stories about Jews in Washington who have made change at the community, local, national, international level, and then really invite our visitors to think about their own impact in their communities and how they bring all of these historical stories and examples to bear in their own lives. We have a really rich collection that started off being very locally focused, and it's grown and grown over the last 60 years, and now we have some amazing objects. We have a pennant from the March on Washington. We have Ruth Bader Ginsburg's, one of her collars. These really rich objects that tell stories about Jews in Washington, Jews who have come to Washington to have an impact on public discourse and the course of our country. We have amazing protest signs and buttons, just these sort of special objects that help us tell the stories of Jewish Washingtonians. We're really trying to think very differently with this museum about what a history museum can be and do. I'm taking some of those lessons from working in the science museum world and trying to apply them to thinking in new ways about history storytelling. We're creating this one space in the museum called the Community Action Lab, and much more in that science museum mode. We really want to have visitors explore through primary sources, through careful observation, look at examples through time of people having an impact on their communities, and then start to think about what is meaningful to them and actually start out of the museum experience to start to shape change in their own communities. We were so thrilled to get the challenge grant from the NEH. It's supporting the architectural design and engineering of our new building, and it's just been really exciting to have the chance to get sort of the validation from the NEH that this is a meaningful project not just to the city but to the country. It's hard to get money for the bricks and mortar of creating this new thing, and so having the NEH's support in this early stage as we're developing the design is really critical.
One of the ways that this project, the infrastructure grants, is separate from the way we normally fund organizations is that it's a long-term investment, often in the physical structure itself. And also, these are matching grants, and that is dramatically different than our normal grants. With a challenge grant, that means the organization is coming up with a match of 1 to 4 times as much as the federal match. And this private-public partnership, I think, is essential.
The challenge grant aspect of it, you know, as soon as we got the award, we put it out to all of our potential donors that we had received this challenge from the NEH to triple the funding that we got from the NEH through donor and other support. And we had this amazing rallying from our donor base, and really within 3 months we had met the challenge already. People really took it to heart and realized that you know, with this buy-in from the National Endowment, that it was important to support us and to do it quickly. It was really that challenge grant piece of it was really impactful for us and our fundraising. It's also moved us forward incredibly quickly. We've had an amazing year since we received the award.
People want a way to support their community, and they don't always have a mechanism. And if anything, the Humanities Endowment investment is a chance to say, this matters to us. This is what makes our community singular, what we believe to be worthy, what we want to leave to the next generation. And so, in that sense, it is a deep expression of the core mission of the agency, as well as a complement to our existing grant categories, where every day of the week we're funding preservation and the presentation of new humanities content and projects.